I feel intellectually inferior to my boyfriend and my mother thinks he can do better. Hi people. I have been with my boyfriend for 5 or so months and I feel like as time is going on I'm never going to be enough for him. We met at a cafe next to the local college and university. He is studying philosophy at university and I'm studying social care at college. He's 24 and I'm 20. He went to private schools and lives on a private estate. I went to state schools and live on a council estate. He's always reassured me that it doesn't bother him, but I feel like a lot of the time he uses words that I have no idea the meanings of and it makes me feel stupid. He speaks formally and I speak informally. For example, he would say, "my mates and I," which I know is grammatically correct, but I grew up with people who say, "me and my mates." His house is full of books and he's always reading a book. Last week was the first time I introduced him to my parents. He came over for Sunday dinner and it went really well until near the end when my mother said, "You could do better than her," and it made everything so awkward. My father likes him but he did say that it's unusual for a young guy to wear a suit and read so many books. He also said that he didn't understand a lot of the words he said. Lol. What should I do? I just feel like at times he could do better and he's wasting his time with me. This is an inferiority complex and it's not fair to you. You write eloquently, you convey your feelings well, and reading more books doesn't elevate one person above another. In the same way, being raised on a council estate isn't something that should bother anyone. It just shouldn't be a question of, "Can you accept this, me?" Be judged on your personal experience, who you are, and who you want to be. P.S. Dump your mother. In a deep but soft object. What she said is outright toxic. Well, with a mom like the I'm not surprised you have an inferiority complex. Honey, it's okay, stick it out. Having a 4-year age difference at that age and studying an esoteric subject does a lot to make someone seem much smarter, but it's really quite meaningless in the scheme of things. Your grammar is a cultural difference, not an intellectual one. Intelligence comes from all kinds of observations in life, not just the kinds you get from books written by old scholars. You sound like two people who could learn a lot from each other and both come away much smarter for it. Ooh, plot twist. This sub always says to dump the boyfriend, but this time you need to dump your mom. If I may, I'm not posh, not council estate, never got a formal education, even to the point where I say, me and me mates. I know the correct grammar, it's just more comfortable. He seems to like you, yes? Doesn't talk down to you, yes? Is happy spending time with you, yes? Don't visit tomorrow's problems on today. Enjoy what you have, see what happens. As for your mum, it's crab bucket mentality. I'm stuck here, you should be too. Tell her he likes you and he makes you happy. Sounds like your parents don't actually love you very much if they're so unsupportive of your significant other for no reason. Bigger issue is how his parents and friends treat you. You ignoring your mom is one thing, but if his parents or friends start saying he could do better can be a serious problem. A lot of rich people are humble and down to earth. His parents and friends could absolutely love you. Ma'am, this is Wendy's. People here will tell you to block, break up, dump him or her, run, divorce, etc. If every nuclear physicist has to only marry another nuclear physicist, then many would have to die alone. Your relationship is all good for now. LMAO, if you feel intellectually inferior to a guy studying philosophy, don't. He's studying philosophy, tears of joy. Husband cheating. Too long, did not read. Husband cheating, but I'm too poor to leave. Advice appreciated. Hi all. I've 28 female, been married to my husband, 36 male, for 3.5 years. I recently saw the Bumble app downloaded on his home screen. That absolutely crushed me. We met on Bumble. We quarantined together. I birthed 2 kids, 2 for this man. Literally ripped my nether regions apart. I am devastated. I made a Bumble account afterwards so that I could find his profile. It doesn't seem real to me. I feel like I'm hallucinating. I thought we were happy. He constantly begs me to not use condoms. I'd have STDs if I listened to him. I have no idea if he has a girlfriend already or gotten someone else pregnant or even has kids. I do not know this man. He is an absolute stranger to me. I can't look at him the same. I don't have anywhere to go. I feel like I have to stay put for the sake of my kids. I feel like my lungs are being crushed. It's too hard to breathe anymore. I hope I pass in my sleep. The pain is too much. It's unbearable. Where do you live? Can you talk to an attorney? You might be able to stay, he will have to move out. He will have to pay child support and alimony. Maybe get off Bumble, ask a friend to do it instead. Is he actively on there, or did he install it to see old conversations you guys had? Did you see texts with different girls or an updated account? Is the only info you have that he had the app on his phone? Could he have forgotten about the app and had it installed this whole time? Might want to look into it further before drawing conclusions. I know a lot is going on in your head right now, but have you confirmed that he is using Bumble for dating? I'm happily married and I have Bumble for the BFF option because I'm actually just really lonely, especially after having kids when none of my other friends do. I also have used it for the business networking feature. That's all done in the normal Bumble app, and I'd hate for your marriage to fall apart over this. Sounds like you guys are really happy and this caught you by surprise. I hope you see this comment. There are stats that show, staying for the kids is worse for everyone. It sounds like your only option is to divorce, but that doesn't mean you'll have to leave the place you live. As far as being able to afford it, that sounds like a personal finance question. Wait, did you go into the Bumble app to see if he even talked to anyone or was just using the friends feature? If not, it's kind of wild just to assume. I mean, you don't have any irrefutable proof that he is cheating. I'm very sorry this happened to you. I don't know what this must feel like, but I believe that you need to put your happiness above anything. You need to think thoroughly if this is something worth working out and if you'll be able to move forward with it. If not, you'll only hurt yourself and your kids. Respect yourself and love yourself above anything. People come and go, and I know this must be a shitty situation to be in, but it's not fair to you to put up with someone that does not regard you or your kids at all. My boyfriend keeps putting me in socially awkward situations. My boyfriend has tried to bring me out around his friends and family but always manages to make things awkward for me. We are both 31 and have been on and off for years, but we are like 7 months in this go-round. He has tried to invite me to group events and will do things like not tell the person organizing he's bringing a guest. So I either don't have a spot in the reservation or I just meet up with the group after the dinner at the hotel suite hangout. In between these strange you can't eat with us situations, he didn't attend my grandmother's funeral with me and uninvited me to a wedding an hour before. So all week he's saying we have this dinner to go to, then the afternoon of the day he says I will just come after the dinner and hang out in the suite and drink with them. To me that feels disrespectful. We live together, so why would you leave me and come back or have us drive 2 cars? Plus he had plenty of notice to tell them he was bringing his GF. He was so mad I didn't want to come meet his cousins and I feel bad now. Should I have just gritted the awkwardness? Edit. We were on and off in our early 20s, fell in love right away, then broke up and were on and off for a few years. We both were in relationships and remained friends from like 27 till this past year. It's been almost a year of consistent dating, hence us living together now. Why are you letting your boyfriend disrespecting you so incredibly? He is treating you as a second-class person. If you are not good enough to be a full partner that goes to the dinners, then you should break up. No. Something is very wrong here. It's one thing if you'd been together 7 days, but you've been together 7 months. If other people are bringing SOs, then you should also be invited. If you don't want to go, that's another issue entirely, but your boyfriend is acting really weird. Your feelings of being left out are totally reasonable. And if he can't have a conversation about this kind of stuff without getting angry, then you need to find someone else to be with who doesn't act like a toddler when he doesn't get his way. There's a reason you've been on and off for years. I think it's time you call it off for good. This guy sounds like a jerk. Been on and off for years, but we are like 7 months in this go-round. You're too old for this shit. This might be acceptable if you were a decade or more younger, but you're 31. Get it together. He sounds like a jerk. A guy who cares and loves you wouldn't do that. There is clearly a reason why you are on and off. He's socially awkward and grew up being a JW, so IDK if he actually does get it. He in all likelihood doesn't. Stop sticking to someone who makes the both of you look bad. As much as most people don't want to admit it, a few can unconsciously mimic some behaviors of their partners. Move out. Find someone else who can actually socialize in a healthy setting. Having someone around who's actually decent at it can really help you with your social anxiety. Yeah, it's disrespectful. It sends a very clear message to you that you are not a priority for him and he is not living his life like he has you at his side. I don't know if it's subconscious sabotage or what, but you are never in his mind. Jesus, get rid of him. He's a lose who's treating you like utter shit. You're 31. Why are you putting up with this? You deserve far, far better. 13 male, am thinking about coming out to my dad, 35 male, advice? I've been thinking about telling him for a while and think he'll be okay with it. He might even know already. The other night we were watching something and two guys kissed. It had been building up on the show and I got choked up because I want a boyfriend plus really am crushing hard on a boy. When my dad noticed, he put an arm around me and just hugged me. He didn't say anything, but we were still watching the show and he never talks till after. When it was over he asked if I was okay and gave me another hug, then I went to bed. So do you think he knows? If not, should I come out or wait a bit more? Chucky, you are so brave to be considering this. From a dad whose son came out at 14 6 years ago, have a ton of hugs. From what you described, I think you're right. He knows, he's supportive, and he loves you no matter what. I will tell you that my wife and I had no clue, but I think we did a good job of being good parents in that moment. You may want to post this question in an LGBTQ sub for more expert opinion, but it certainly sounds to me like your dad is ready and waiting to tell you he loves you the way you are. Please update us all. I am thinking all good thoughts for you, young man. Emo, it sounds like he was trying to provide you with a safe space to share if you were ready, but doesn't want to push you if you don't want to talk. Seems like you've got a great dad. I think he already knows and you don't even have to say anything. PS, sending virtual hugs to you. PPS. You posted your age, and you are young, please be careful on the internet. Just looking out for you, less than 3. You should also check out LGBT too. But he might, probably knows. Parents are keen on stuff LJKE that, depending on relationships of course. If he's AGA isn't LGBT, I doubt he would have reacted that way. I say F it and come out to him. Someone who did this. It seems like he knows, but he's waiting for you to tell him. My advice, don't overthink it, just tell him, don't build up to just say, hey dad, I'm gay, and then his reaction will speak for itself. And if you're wondering why I say just get it over with, is because the more you delay the more you talk yourself out of it and get cold feet. Just rip it off like a band-aid. Safety is important, but if he reacted like that, I think it'll be okay. Just think long and hard about whether he's done anything to suggest he's homophobic, even as minor as staring at gay couples or trans folks weird. If not, I say go for it. I would say he knows. He is probably waiting for you to confirm it when you're comfortable. His reaction to gay content and your response to it is the complete opposite of my parents. Gay content, the little we had back in the late 90s, was switched off and then my parents condemned it. Your father doesn't do that. He accepts the content and then he sees your reaction and is affectionate. I am sure he knows. I think he is just waiting for you to be comfortable enough to tell him. I wish you the best. Everything is going to be okay. He definitely knows and is giving you the space to have the conversation on your own terms. There are a lot of horror stories on Reddit, but despite your fears, the vast majority of parents just want you to be happy. Come out when you are ready to, and not a second sooner or later.